I'm very embarrassed.
Right.
And I'm going to also, I want to, the thing that's bothering me the most, is I want to apologize to this community for the embarrassment that I've caused. That's it. That's totally it, Fran. I have nobody to blame but myself. I have made a mistake. And by golly, I'm going to pay for it. And I want to apologize for it.
Where were you coming from?
That's immaterial. I'm not going to get in where I was, who I was talking to, how many drinks I had, and blah, blah, blah. The point is, I made a mistake. I'm sorry.
Well, did you make a mistake on one drink, or you made a mistake on 4 drinks? Or?
I evidently drank too much, or I wouldn't have been arrested. I don't even know what the blood alcohol, I haven't even seen the police report.
Yeah, that was the question I have for you. How come you opted for blood?
The gentleman, he says, would you rather do breathalyzer or would you rather do blood? And I says, I don't know. I says, let's go do blood. Put me in the car, we went and did blood.
Did they take you to the hospital, or did they do that at the
Oh,
jail?
no, they do it right at the jail.
Okay. It's a little odd to have Barry here.
Don't worry about him.
Well, I'm completely drawing a blank on what to ask. Can you think of something to ask?
Well, yeah. You've said previously that you talked about your political future, and which you said included another run. Does this have any impact on what your plans are for the future?
Not at this time. It doesn't.
And you've never had a DUI before, right?
Nope.
There are those that would want to ask you also, do you have a drinking problem?
I don't think I do. In fact, let me tell you something. I signed a document this morning. At 8:30, I was over at the municipal court, and I was released on the following conditions. Do not possess or consume alcohol until my arraignment date of 4/5/07. I absolutely plan on doing that. I signed it. I said that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to do.
And you still have your license, right?
Correct. I'm positive. Isn't it standard they take away for 90 days?
Well, I just learned this today. If you do a preliminary breath test, and that's how they get your blood alcohol, they take your license immediately.
Oh, is that right?
If you do a blood test, they wait for the toxicology to come back, and then they take your license.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I think they remove it at the arraignment. I'm not sure.
That's
Whatever
what the
it is.
troopers told me this morning.
Fine.
That the blood is hinges upon the toxicology.
Fran, I haven't got a clue.
They give you a field sobriety test?
Well, it's pretty hard to give me a field sobriety test, and I stated this because, as you well know, I have acute polyneuropathy. You know, I have trouble just walking. I can't even close my eyes in the shower. I lose my equilibrium.
Right.
And I stated that, and they were very professional with me.
Right.
And I have absolutely no complaints.
That's a point you made. The term you use, I can't even repeat it. Is it diabetes? Is that?
I have, yeah, it's a slight benefit of my diabetes.
And so to do the field sobriety test, which includes walking and...
Oh, you're standing on one leg and all that stuff, closing your eyes. If I close my eyes, I'm telling you, right now, I'm having had a drink, and I can close my eyes for you, and you'll watch me sway like a son of a gun, because there's no feedback from my feet.
And you live here in town, right?
I have for 45 years.
Right. I know you don't want to tell me where you were, but it sort of makes a difference if you were driving from Reno, or if you were in town.
Okay, I'll give you that. I wasn't driving from Reno.
Okay. And then apparently somebody was following a vehicle that was driving recklessly. They gave a description of a white vehicle and a partial plate. The trooper that ended up stopping you was looking for a white vehicle. That's how you came to his attention initially. You were not the vehicle that they had reported driving recklessly. And also I had asked what your demeanor was when you got arrested. He said you were beating yourself up.
Of course I was.
Did they tow your vehicle? Or they
No.
called police?
My son and my wife came down and picked it up and took it off.
And you were booked. They took your picture and fingerprints and all that.
Oh, yeah.
It's the first time it's ever occurred for you then. You were out of there. What time did you leave the?
I think I was down there for about an hour. I think it was around 11:30.
Probably a little surprised when you pick up the paper this morning.
Not really. I think this is an amazing community. Word travels fast.
Mm. And speaking of community, I'm sorry, Frank, but that's one issue a lot of people will be bringing up is credibility. Some of the issues that now you've been in the forefront of, substance abuse and such.
Yeah.
What does this do for your credibility on those issues that you have to lead the community through?
I can't even speculate on that. I know that I have a job to do as mayor. I'm going to do it with the same vigor and the same passion that I've always done it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you consider this morning when you woke up not coming to work?
Of course not. You know me better than that, Fran.
Right.
I don't go underground.
Right.
I don't try to lay low. I made a mistake. I want to face it. I want to apologize for it. And I want to be penalized for it.
Penalized for it. In terms of the credibility, you'll be questioned on that as you go forward on these issues. Are there things that you can do or will be planning to do to rebuild your credibility on some of these substance abuse issues? I'm not sure what that would be, whether it's education or what it may be, but...
I don't understand your question.
In a leadership role, I mean, whether you're going to be speaking on the subject about what you did, whatever it might be, are there things that you can do to repair the credibility that's been lost?
I will probably do everything I possibly can to repair credibility. I mean, like I say, this is an embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
I feel I've embarrassed the community I represent. And I'm going to do everything I can to alleviate that.
Mm-hmm. It's late in the afternoon after the day the news was broken, and could you describe what your day's been like today? What's been the reaction from city employees and from others?
Very, 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 I'm going to pick the right word, supportive. And that makes you feel good, of course. I've had, so I got 5 messages in there. And I've had about 10 so far. And honestly, one woman chastised me, and she had every right to. I have no defense. I made a mistake. I've embarrassed my community. I've embarrassed my family. But what's the defense for that? There isn't any. I'm guilty. I did. I broke the law. And I'm going to pay for it. So, no, I'm not going to have an attorney. I'm not going to fight this. Are you nuts? I made a mistake. I'm guilty, and I'm sorry. Nobody to blame. But me.
Okay.
And to reiterate, you said you don't feel like you have a drinking problem, and you haven't. This is something that hasn't happened before.
Well, it's never happened before.
Mm-hmm. You've never drank and drove before?
I'm not going to go there. Sure I have. In 72 years on the planet, I'm sure there have been a couple of times where I shouldn't have been drunk.
Right. I mean, that's just what how those forms.
If I was to say I've never ever in my life done that, that would be a lie, and I don't lie.
Right. What was your question? I interrupted you.